Hey gang, it's JC and this is the Daily Dose for Monday, March 14th, 2011, a combined venture with Mind Active in beautiful downtown Brentwood. Archives at the top of the page. We have some great stuff in the archives that I'm going to talk about a little bit later on. And then, of course, our eye candy along the bottom. It's either a viral video or some sort of cool picture or something like that. And we keep those in the archives too. So have fun with that, just sort of punching around. You can spend hours on this website looking at stuff that you either haven't seen before or things that in some cases you haven't seen in like 15, 20, 25 years. I guess I will talk more about that later. What a surprise here this morning to look outside. And as we stand here right now, it's looking like about 1.5 inches of snow, maybe even 2 inches. It's still falling. What a mess. This in a week that is going to have a shoveling snow on Monday and wearing shorts for St. Patrick's Day when it's going to be 72 degrees on Thursday, only in St. Louis. I don't know about you, trying to get used to this daylight savings time, especially the one in the spring is tough because that's where you lose an hour of sleep. Daylight savings time began yesterday for most of us. It's the only savings we have left. We lost an hour over the weekend, an hour and a half if you count the NCAA selection show. God, this thing with the brackets and the NCAA, it just gets more. Am I saying anything about myself when I tell you that I don't find any of it interesting? You know, if you got a local team playing and they get past the first round, then it starts to get exciting. Other than that, it's just a bunch of giant guys running around sweating all over the place. I'm sorry, basketball just doesn't do it for me. Went to look at the iPad, the new iPads on Saturday over at the Galleria, and was half thinking that I might buy one. And then I got in there and started playing with it and started checking the price points. Because they say, you know, it starts at $4.99. Well, you know what you get for $4.99? For $4.99, you get the new iPad, and it is, first of all, of course, not a phone. And then, of course, you have to tack on the package that allows you to do all the stuff. But $4.99 gets you a Wi-Fi machine. No 3G, no 4G, which basically means if you're not in a Wi-Fi hotspot, well, then you're really not going to be able to use it for much. So then I said, well, how much is the one that is enabled with the 3G? It's like, that one was $620. So I sort of laughed and walked out of the place. Made it a little easier to walk out knowing that they were sold out anyhow. So they didn't have any. But, you know, then the other way is, you know, you can just wait until Friday where the iPad 6 will be coming out. But that's it. You know what I did? I took my reading glasses and I took my iPhone and my reading glasses and I said, honey, see now I have a new iPad. Oh, man. Went to a French restaurant in Kirkwood on Saturday night. The salmon was overcooked and dry. Some of the other things on the menu were slightly overdescribed. The wine was just really dull and unexciting and almost... drinking French wine oftentimes, like a Bordeaux especially, it's like drinking a flat beer. And the price was outrageous. I don't think we'll be going back, but that's just us. Told you this was going to happen. For all the people who keep saying, stop talking about Charlie Sheen, we're sick of it. And then, of course, you know, he's got 2 million Twitter followers. And over the weekend, his live stage shows... the one in Detroit on April 2nd and the one in Chicago on the 3rd sold out in 18 minutes. 18 minutes. I think that people are buying tickets to watch Charlie Sheen right now the way people buy tickets for the NASCAR events. It's like you go there and you just wait for some sort of a huge wreck to happen. But they say they're going to add more dates too. And when you sell out 2 shows in 18 minutes, guess what? You'll add more shows. Parade Magazine decided to horn in on the territory normally known as Forbes.com. They have their list of the top earning celebrities. Oprah is number 1, no surprise there. The estate of Michael Jackson is next. Oprah, $315, that's Mill. $275 for Michael Jackson. Tyler Perry in 3rd place with $125 million. It is interesting that the top 3 people on the list are all black. All right, Zach Galifianakis pretty much hit it out of the park on Saturday Night Live. Possibly one of the best, well, definitely one of the best opening monologues I've ever seen in the, 40-year history of Saturday Night Live. He was really, really good. Shaved his head like Mr. T at the end of the show, and really shaved it too, by the way. That boy is not right, but very fun to watch. Jewel gets into a car crash on Friday. She was hit by a fire truck, but luckily her giant cans inflated and protected her and her baby, which is coming in a couple of months. Jake Gyllenhaal is in a bathroom taking a leak during a film and music festival in Austin, Texas. And some guy comes up to him while he's taking a leak and takes a picture of him and it, as it were. Now, there's a rumor going around that Jake slammed the guy into the wall. That's not true. As a matter of fact, it turns out he just talked to him and asked him to delete the photo, which the guy says he did. Sarah McLachlan says the Lilith Fair is not coming back. What a surprise. She brought the tour back last year after a decade-long hiatus, but it wasn't a success. And I analyzed this Lilith Fair years ago because here's the deal. They sort of sold it to young, impressionable women in their 20s and said, it's going to be all women on stage, all women in the audience, all women vendors, all women ticket takers, all women security people, all women at the sandwich counter, all women selling beers. And they were like, oh, that's so wonderful. It's a sisterhood. And then they're sitting there and the show starts and they're like thirsty. And they turn and they realize, holy crap, I came with a bunch of girls. There's no guy to buy me a beer. And by the way, I paid for this ticket myself. What in the F am I doing? And that was the end of the Lilith Fair. Turns out women want casual sex just as much as men, but they have to feel safe and the guy has to be attractive. 69 to 75% of the guys they approached said, yes, I'd like to have a one-night stand. As for the women, the number of them who took the guy up on the offer was 0. Now, the study confirmed what pretty much everybody believed. Men love the idea of random casual sex, but women aren't interested. But the new study from the University of Michigan that refutes the results of this thing in 1989 that I was just referring to say that women do love it, but they have to feel safe, and they're not interested in the guy having money. They want the guy to be really, really good looking and really great in bed. And some of us can't do anything about one and sometimes both of those things. All right, with gas going up more than 40 cents in the last month, here are 5 sneaky ways to save money on your gasoline purchases. And it goes like this. Buy gas at night or early in the morning. Gas stations store their gas underground, and it's more dense when the ground is cold, so you actually get a little more gasoline out of the deal. Number 2, try to hit the pump midweek. Gas prices tend to rise on Thursday. Number 3, don't get gas unless you need to, because if you got a full gas tank, your car is heavier, it's not as fuel efficient. Number 4, don't use high octane gas if you don't need it. Unless you got some sort of unless you're driving a Lamborghini around town, you probably don't need higher octane gas. And number 5, don't drive aggressively. Those jump starts and racing and speeding and all that sort of stuff chew up the gasoline. All right, I was telling you that we have a lot of really cool stuff up on the archives, and I looked at this the other day and really sort of went through and cataloged it all. And in the Wayback Machine alone, and again, that tab is right out there, Wayback Machine, I'm just picking random stuff here. Margie Ellisor on Channel 4 back in 1998. You hardly even recognize her. 1986, a 5 o'clock newscast on Channel 5 with Art Holliday back when he was still a sportscaster. The guy doesn't look like he's changed much at all. I don't know how he's doing it. What do we got here? 1986, Craig Hawksley, local comedian, doing a Toyota commercial as Mike Shannon. Actually, it's pretty funny stuff. What else we got here? The Arena Demolition has been very, very popular from February of 1999. So that's on the Wayback Machine. Now, also, right next to it up on the Video Village, and this is all stuff that I was involved in. For example, you got me with Ozzy Osbourne back in 1986, and it's a really funny interview, by the way, and you can actually understand him, and it's really interesting to hear Ozzy talk back in 1986. Back in 1985, me running around a grocery store in North County with Mr. Whipple, the guy who is encouraging people, don't squeeze the Charmin. What do we got here? Back when he was 74 years old, in 1993, I'm up in New York sitting there in the office of Andy Rooney interviewing him. We've got me with Wayne Newton back in 1997 in Las Vegas, and one of the more popular things we've ever put up was a 1986 five-part series on the behind the scenes of the Wheel of Fortune. And you see me running around with Pat and Vanna, and it's really cool. I have to say, I went back and looked at some of this stuff, and have to ask myself, is this me doing this? It was a little better than I thought on some of the stuff. And the stuff that I was no good at, you're never going to see because I'm not putting it up on the website. 1987 interview in New York with Michael Douglas for Fatal Attraction. So there's a lot of really cool stuff to sort of punch around and look at, and it may bring back some memories. You just never know. All right, JC's Eye Candy today. Boy, it was once the main dance hall on the Admiral. Now it's just a pile of rubble. It's sort of an interesting picture of what is left of the main dance hall area on the Admiral. They're tearing the place apart, selling it for scrap, and you get a photograph that our buddy Bill Greenblatt from UPI took, and it's a little depressing, but again, it's one of those things where you're like, progress. That's how things go. Snow continues to fall. Opening day is 17 days away. St. Patrick's Day, 72 degrees, I think they said on Thursday. This is just wacky, man. It's wacky. Here we are on a Monday. And, of course, Trish Gazelle joins me every weekday from 10 in the morning until 1 on the Big 550 KTRS. That's where we are. We, I didn't check. I think we just went over 4,000 friends on Facebook, and you can hit me there, and also go to the Showgram with JC on Facebook, and Trish updates that all the time. We put stuff up there for you all the time, and when we have special things on the show or contests, giveaways, just anything that's interesting, we post that stuff too, so it's sort of a good thing to tap into. And there you go, JC's Daily Dose for Monday, March 14th, 2011, a combined venture with Mind Active in beautiful downtown Brentwood. In the meantime, we've beaten this one to death. Have a good one. See you later. Bye.